Good Sunday morning. I'm KHOU meteorologist Ramirez. We are seeing this cold front push on through, and it is bringing some cooler temperatures as well as jacket weather back into the picture here across Houston. So as far as the weather story, temperatures falling through today, freeze watch tonight, and then that quick warm up into this week that we will be back in the 60s and 70s. So here's the live look right now. We're seeing some cloudy skies. Bush Airport at 55, Galveston 59, Brenham at 48, Tomball at 54 degrees. As far as your temperatures at the street level, we're seeing temps already in the 50s, and we're also looking at very breezy conditions. This is near Lake Houston at Beach Point Drive at 56, 56 at Delta Trail, Royal Hill Court at 56 degrees. That is also combined with winds out of the north between 29 and 30 miles an hour. So jacket weather in the forecast for today, and also a breezy conditions. You might want to wear a hat or have extra hairspray for this afternoon, because we're going to see those winds gusting up to 25 to 30 miles an hour out of the north, with sustained winds out of 15 miles an hour. So temps falling through the day, getting down to about 55, 52 degrees. If you are heading to the Texans game, this is a look at what your forecast looks like. We're going to start off, we've already surpassed the 60-degree mark. And so I think we're going to see mostly just 50-degree temps throughout the day, with getting down to 59 by 12 p.m., 3 p.m., 58, 56 by 5 p.m. And so jacket weather in the picture through today, and those current temps as you look at the impacts of this cold front across Texas. We're already seeing temps in below freezing, especially out in North Texas, 22 in Amarillo, 30 degrees in Lubbock, Midland at 32 degrees. Marfa out in far west Texas at 35. Of course, you have the Marfa lights that happen out there in the Big Bend region. But looking at radar, we're expecting mostly clear conditions. All of that rain that we saw last night has pushed offshore. We are expecting those conditions to once again be a little bit, just a bit cloudy across our area. It's the temperatures that we're really going to have to keep an eye on, especially for tonight, as we are going to see them drop to about freezing here in the Houston area. Wouldn't be surprised if some of us actually make it to about 31, 30 degrees. Even the areas north of Conroe could fall into the 20s across the area. So that's freezing. And we're going to be there briefly, but it's going to be the first time this season that we have reached the freezing point. So that's why the National Weather Service has issued that freeze watch for most of our counties here in Southeast Texas. And the reason why they're not issuing it in Walker County out in Huntsville is because they've already reached freezing this time for this season already, just previously. So it will be the first time for all of our area, mostly here in Houston, that we could see freezing temps for portions of Harris County. And that usually has a role at playing of the growing season when it comes to crops and vegetation. When you hit that first freezing point of the season, the plants act weird. I'm not a herbologist or a plant person, but I just know that the freezing point for the first time in the year usually plays a major role at the growing season when we go into the next several months. So wind chills are also going to be in the 20s as well. So protect those plants out there and protect yourself, especially if you're heading out the door on Monday, because we are expecting those temps at 8:30 Monday morning to be about 26 in Liberty, 27 College Station, Brenham at 29 degrees. And so that really just requires a heavy jacket, not a light jacket, a heavy jacket, because it is going to be quite cold. Monday morning lows. You might want to just take these precautions, as we will be at freezing, to protect people, vulnerable people, elderly, maybe disabled folks, maybe your neighbors that are down the street that really are having a hard time with the cold weather. Protect the plants, pets. I left pipes off the checklist. I think that to be safe, if you want to wrap your pipes, I think that's something that could be useful, as we are still in the beginning of winter. Has not officially started yet. It doesn't start until December 22nd. We are expecting the pipes to really not be an issue, because we're only going to be about freezing for just a brief amount of time. We're not going to be there for quite a while. As soon as the sun rises tomorrow, we will be already up above freezing. And so I don't think pipes are too much of a concern, but it won't hurt to wrap them just in case. And so it's not like we're going to have pipe bursting conditions like we saw out during the February freeze of 22, or this widespread hard freeze event that we've seen in years past. It's just going to be mostly dry, and we are expecting it to be also, the length of freezing is not going to be quite that long. So the next few days, we do have clear conditions on Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we're going to see a little bit of a low pressure system move in across Texas and just settle offshore. And that's going to bring us a rain chance for Wednesday. As that low moves off towards the east, it will diminish those rain chances as we get into the Thursday and Friday, but this is going to bring some widespread showers for Wednesday. But also we have to keep an eye on the warming trend that we're going to see through the next few days. This is a fast forward to around Christmas. Climate Prediction Center is calling for warmer than normal conditions. Average highs for this time of year, usually around 66 degrees for Houston, and we could see temperatures above that. And we're seeing that in our 10-day high temperature trends, especially as we go into the end of this week into next week. So is this the last cold front that we're going to see for quite a while? That's going to be interesting because we are expecting it to be quite cold for Monday and Tuesday, a little bit chilly, but as you look at our 10-day high temperature trend, we might see another little bit of a front arrive this next weekend, but temps are still going to be well above average. Look at that average high for Houston, 65, and we're expecting mid-70s, maybe even 80 degrees going into next weekend. So the cold weather definitely going to be here for the next 24 hours. But as we go into midweek, we're going to be warming right back up into the 70s, a very quick whiplash of temperatures, especially as we head into the next 7 days. Falling temps for today, we will see those temps become very chilly later on tonight, very cold, especially if you're heading out the door for Monday morning. But just keep an eye on those conditions and how cold it is going to be as we go into tonight into Monday morning. Let's take a look at what's happening across the state. Not much going on here across Texas. We do still have some showers that are now moving south with this cold front that's causing a few downpours out near Corpus Christi. But let's say you're catching a flight elsewhere across the nation. Good luck if you're heading to New York City because they are dealing with some widespread snow all across the Northeast, from Atlantic City even down to Ocean Pines. New York, looking at that snowfall that could potentially be causing problems and delays out near New York City, especially out those to the two major airports out there. But snow falling out towards the Northeast, and they're seeing those snow showers with that front as it's snaking its way across the south. And eventually, this is really the cause of what's bringing us our cold temperatures as well as that surge of colder air, as you're able to see down across the southern half of the state, this little bit of a bow echo. Those showers follow the cold fronts as they move south of Houston. And that's what we're seeing now that it has now passed Houston. And we are expecting those conditions to remain mostly just with chilly as we head into the next few days. So as far as your weather headlines, we are expecting those conditions to remain just chilly for today, mostly cloudy skies, temps falling tonight, the National Weather Service issuing that freeze watch tonight, and then we're going to quickly warm on up for the week. Hopefully that doesn't play a role of your immune systems, because we are expecting this temperature whiplash for the next couple of days. Winds are definitely going to cause it to make it feel much colder today. So bring those jackets, those heavy jackets out there, because we're going to see winds between 20 and 25 miles an hour. When you factor in the wind chill and the winds and the temperatures, it actually makes it feel like the mid-40s across the Houston area. Getting down to about 49 degrees by 7 p.m., but we will see mostly clear skies with the sun finally making its appearance later on in the afternoon hours. And so, like I said, radar mostly quiet, but we are expecting those temps to continue falling through tonight, and we will be at freezing around 31, 32 degrees. It's very well possible that we could be around 33, 35 for Houston. Areas north of I-10 are going to be the ones that are going to be freezing, but I think for all across the board that we're going to see some pretty significantly cold temps briefly around freezing for tomorrow morning. So bundle up out there if you are heading out. And that's why the National Weather Service has issued that freeze alert, or those freeze watches, for Sunday night into Monday morning. Going in and looking at the next 7 days, we are expecting that warming trend to continue. So you're going to be able to spend time outdoors as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, but we're keeping an eye on rain chances for Wednesday. There's going to be a little bit of a low pressure system that's going to form off the Gulf, off the coast of Texas, and that is going to bring us some showers for Wednesday, but a pretty cold next 24 hours, especially as we head into Monday, and then warming right back up into the 70s. And of course, that's your forecast, and we will be giving you the latest updates on KHOU.com and on KHOU 11+. Of course, I'm meteorologist Chris Ramirez, and have a great and safe rest of your Sunday.